Growing up in Falmouth, Kentucky in the 1950s and 60s, Myron Doan was always fascinated by cheerleading.
My father was chairman of the Board of Education for many, many years, and he would attend the basketball games. He was a basketball fan as well as a little bit of a politician, I guess, and Myron started going with them. Now we're talking like 1958, 59 here, and I can recall him coming home and he would say, the ball game was interesting, but those cheerleading uniforms were horrible.
But it wasn't that infatuation that led him to Morehead State University in 1967. Instead, it was his passion and talent for keyboarding that brought him 75 miles down the road to MSU.
Well, when he was a very, very small child, before he was old enough to speak, my mother and my grandmother and my aunts would talk about him. I had an aunt that played the piano, and my grandmother also played. And he would be pushed up to the table as a very small child, and he would actually do this on the table and attempt to sing. He could not speak, he was not old enough, but he would do this. When Christmas rolls around, he gets the little Schroeder Charlie Brown piano for Christmas, and he just went crazy with that. And he would set his toy stuffed people up, and he would perform to them, and he would make up songs, and he would beat on this piano. I don't recall him ever going through the beginning stages. When a person begins, I was in concert band, and I recall, the beginning books, the beginning stages, the learning, and certainly he went through the fundamentals, but it passed so quickly for him. He was so talented in his music that he almost glossed over that and went straight on to playing more difficult pieces.
An accomplished student, Myron completed his music degree in 1971, followed by his master's in 1974. While in school, his talent caught the eye, or should we say the ear, of some other legendary members of the MSU family.
The president of the university at that time was Dr. Adrian Doran. Mrs. Doran would entertain quite often various guests, and she learned that he was very good at the piano. So she would have him come over, invite him over to entertain as the musical entertainment for her party. There was an important party that she was having. I'm not sure who was invited, but she had contacted him, asked him if he could come over a certain particular evening and perform music. And he said, well, he would love to, but he had a paper that was due, and he just could not burn up the evening doing that. He had to work on his assignment. So she was in a state. She explained to Dr. Doran what had happened, that Myron could not play music for her, and Dr. Doran assured her that he would try to solve this problem.
Despite his admirable commitment to his classwork, Adrian Doran wouldn't take no for an answer. Instead, Dr. Doran personally instructed Myron's professor to grant him an extension on his assignment so he could perform at the Dorans' home. The asset that Myron was to the university was recognized by more than just the Dorans. He was offered a position with the university radio station, WMKY, immediately following graduation.
I met Myron Doan my freshman year in 1974, and that's when I had the opportunity to work at WMKY as the weather person on the Codaphone. Back then we had to do the weathercast on a pre-recorded Codaphone. People could call in, and I remember, man, what a nice guy. You know, can somebody really be this nice? And he certainly was, turned out to be not only a nice guy, but a great friend and a wonderful mentor over the years.
After several years working at the university radio station, WMKY, and eventually joining the student life staff, where he would later become dean of students, Myron was approached with a new opportunity to get involved at Morehead State.
Myron was asked, I think it was in 1979, to advise or sponsor, be coach to the cheerleading squad. Now you have to remember when cheerleading was starting, it started as a pep organization and was the kind of just a student organization. There was no recognition in the beginning as that these were student athletes or it really wasn't given the respect that it came to have as Myron built the program.
Myron viewed cheerleading and being the coach as an opportunity to help young men and women do something that they enjoyed doing. And anything that Myron did, he would make it his passion. And he was always trying to be better, set a standard, and hold others accountable to that standard and to achieve high performance.
Myron led the squad to its first national championship title in 1988, and that was just the beginning. Throughout his tenure, Myron would go on to win 19 combined national championships.
You know, when I say that I was a Morehead State University national champion, wow. I mean, you know, everybody's like, oh, you cheered at Morehead. Yeah, and then I always get to say the first, you know. It just, you know, there's 7 years difference between us. And, you know, she cheered, I always like to say she's Myron as a female, because she loves Morehead State University as much as he does. She loves cheerleading. She loves every aspect of it. And for her to get to live it through me is pretty awesome too, because not too many people can say we both cheered at Morehead State University under Myron Doan.
Yes, Myron definitely expected perfection. It didn't matter if it was at practice, if it was a ball game. He expected perfection at the ball game, even more so than at the competition. He said, this is your home crowd. These are the people that support you. We want you to be perfect. We want you to look good from the moment you walk out of this room till the ball game is over. It didn't matter. You had to be perfect. And we respected that, and we wanted to do that. We wanted to make sure that he was pleased. If something went just a little off, I remember just looking over there to the sideline and thinking, I hope he didn't see it, because I don't want it, you know.
You know he did.
Yeah, and you knew he did.
You know, we always say practice makes perfect. Myron's philosophy was practice so much that you can't do it wrong. So, you know, if anything came from that, it's just, and that carries through in life. You know, if you're going to do something, you do it well, and you do it to your very best ability. And that, I think that's also a message that goes along with Myron, is not just cheerleading, but in life. He was such a great teacher.
And inspiration.
Absolutely.
Admired and revered for his coaching abilities, he was equally admired for his passion for all students at Morehead State.
He was motivated by the right things, that he was motivated by true love for the young people, wanting to see them succeed in every area. He cared about everything that was going on. He had a way of knowing when they needed somebody just to give them an extra little push, a pat on the shoulder, maybe a meal. I know I've heard several of them talk about the fact that, you know, they were running low on money. They didn't know where they were going to eat next, and he just happened to say, you know, come let me take you to lunch. He took care of little details of people's lives.
Well, there's no doubt that Myron poured his life into Morehead State University in lots of ways that people probably don't even really understand the level of magnitude of what he ultimately did for so many students here. But his time as Dean of Students, his involvement with Greek Affairs, his involvement certainly with our cheer program, it's made it a really hard job for us to hire now. There are very few people that can uphold the legacy that he left in our program, and so we've really struggled with that over the years at times. That's a good problem to have, right? That's one of the things that we're known for as an institution. In so many circles, it's Morehead State cheer is the first thing people think of, and it is absolutely because of the legacy Myron Doan created.
I've been fortunate enough to have success here, but I don't take credit for that. You know, Myron set all these things in motion. I'm very fortunate to have the position that I have, and obviously the success has continued after Myron was gone. So, you know, if I were not to coach next year or tomorrow, they would bring somebody else in that would be qualified, and they could continue it on. So it's the program and the legacies and the traditions that he set forth and started. The inertia is going, and it's going to continue regardless of who's here. I plan on being here for a very long time. I want to retire in this position, but you know, it's all due to him.
As member of the university community, as a student, as a faculty member, as a dean, as a cheerleading coach. His life was Morehead State University. And he gave of himself, his talents, his gifts.
He cared about the other people more than he cared about himself. His family, of course, came first with him. And I think he carried that love over to the young people that he came in contact with. And he wasn't doing what he was doing to bring glory to himself. He was doing what he was doing because he wanted to see young people succeed. The cheerleading gave some of them an identity and a pride maybe that they wouldn't have had otherwise. And I think he enjoyed seeing that and knowing that he was helping them to feel good about themselves and to feel like they were succeeding in what they were doing.
I took a lot of heat from my hometown for being a cheerleader. And Myron gave me the opportunity to go back to my high school. And my high school gym was about the size of the cheerleading room. And he took the whole entire squad. We went up to my high school. There's probably 250, 300 people could be in that gym, all could be in there. And to have the national championship squad perform in a small town like that. And I will tell you today, there's little kids, that was little kids in, that still now when I go to places, they talk to their kids saying, you know, you should have saw Wayne or seen Wayne do this or do that, and had these girls clear up to the ceilings and all that stuff. And those are the things that Myron did for us.
Friends, family, and former cheerleaders are extremely excited and proud that Myron is being honored with the 2016 Founders Award for University Service. While it is bittersweet that he is not here to celebrate, his passion and commitment to his family, his students, and his university is still evident through the legacy he left behind.
Due to Myron's determination and his wanting to learn.
It's created a dynasty that what is Morehead State University cheerleading now. Myron was just so humble that it saddens me that he's not here for the award that he truly deserves.
Many times when a championship was won, he would not even want to be in the photograph. He would stand off and he said, you know, you guys, you're the team, you guys are the ones that did it. He did not. And I've had several former cheerleaders tell me that, and when he was ill, they came to visit him at the hospital and they would say he would never, you know, take the credit that he probably should have or could have.
It was never about Myron. Myron is the most humble person that one would ever meet. It was always about the other person. It was about the university community, and it was about how he could help another person discover their genius, their capabilities, but it was never about him.
You know, living here, growing up here, and knowing that this community knows what he gave. We were the ones in here with him, receiving all of that from him directly, and knowing that the university is finally recognizing that really does mean a lot. He is the reason that we are the people that we are today. And he started that foundation a long time ago. And I'm glad that the university is recognizing that.
Yeah.
It is an honor. I'm so glad that he is being remembered and he's being treasured for the wonderful person that he was. There's nobody more deserving because he loved this university so much. It really was his life for so many years, and he would be honored. He would be honored, and I'm honored to have been his friend and to be able to be part of this.
He was one of the few people that was able to say in his academic career, in his professional career, that I wouldn't have changed anything. That I went to Morehead State and I did it right. So what I would say is thank you to Morehead State for allowing him to have that kind of life.